So there's nobody parked here, and I'm not a big fan of talking about myself to myself in public. So I'm kind of here walking Riley with a lot on my mind. There are no cars in the parking lot. I think I'm all by myself, which is okay. And Riley's enjoying his walk. Crazy nice weather we're having. It's like 32 degrees right now. Like 2 p.m. I've been so drained lately. I got the COVID last month. I lost my smell and my taste. And it felt like a normal cold. It wasn't even that bad for me. And I know everybody's different. And it could be bad for some people who are susceptible or they're vulnerable to that specific illness. But I'm almost fully recovered. I've still got some lingering effects, like I think my taste is still coming back. I totally lost my taste and my smell. My smell's starting to come back. Yeah, COVID wasn't that bad for me. But I've been exercising every single day. Riley helps me with that. He motivates me to get out of the house. And it's pretty nice out. Even when it's super cold, I'm in this bedroom all the time. And people think I'm not doing anything. But really, there's a whole big master plan in my head that kind of just unfolds over time. And I'm not trying to rush anything, because that's a really good way to make mistakes. And I'm not sure how well we're doing in the grand scheme of things, but before the riots began, there was a lot going on. I was in Texas, working on a lot of big projects. I moved back here to try to accomplish some goals, which I failed at. Not all of them, but the biggest goal I had, I keep failing at. It's still a goal of mine, but it hasn't worked out yet. That's not to say I didn't give up. Or it's not to say I did give up, because I didn't give up. It's been really rough times. Experiencing everything I have experienced and trying to do these big calculations, because I don't think I have a normal brain. I really don't, which is okay. But there's like the weirdest stuff that happens to me. I'll be able to tell prophecies, and I'm sure I'm not the only person. It's all in religious textbooks. It's in movies, which movies are movies, right? But it's in lore, a lot of lore. And the only thing that's really not in is science, which is okay because they call that forecasting or predicting. So I guess it really is even kind of in science. With that being said, most of my time lately has been spent trying to come up with solutions to major problems. Not like, oh my gosh, what are people's like basic problems, like going to the gym every day? I don't even know. Making sure they make it to work on time and all the time, and providing for their families, which is a lot. I'm not trying to downplay it. When you work to provide for a family, that's a handful in itself. But I'm not currently with any children or my significant other who I really wanted to be with. So instead of going on all these dates and worrying about little problems, I kind of been focusing on problems such as how to get rid of global poverty and how to get rid of global war. These problems are not easy problems to solve. They're not. And I know that. I know that it's crazy. But I'm not crazy. I am pretty level-headed, okay? Considering the things I see other people doing and the behaviors that are out there, yeah, it's been quite the journey, to say the least. The way I've done it is I've done a lot of cryptic messaging. I've done a lot of knowing the right people, not even personally knowing them, but knowing about them, what they can accomplish, knowing what they have accomplished, knowing what they're capable of, such as some of these very prominent politicians and some of these corporate businessmen who seem to be very prominent or influential in society. And that has been quite the experience, because anybody who's ever really tried to get away with bringing some sort of revolution, as far as I've learned, like 98% of them end up getting taken out by mercenaries for the, I don't even know why, for greed and for power and for control. That's not something I'm all about. I'm all about freedom, opportunities, choices. So it's been a struggle for sure. Everybody's got a different perspective in life. Like the way you see things, your shoes, the shoes that you have walked in are not the same shoes that I have walked in, and that's okay. But what the challenge has been is changing perspectives, especially when they're stuck in a certain way, such as when I'm not sure of an example, but I hope you get my point. I don't want to offend anybody, and I gotta be careful with my words. So if you grow up not being able to attend a school for whatever reason, if you can't afford it, if you're too far out of town, or if you gotta work in the family to help the family, whatever the reason may be, we all have different educations. We all have learned different things growing up. What I have found is, I believe it's important to get people understanding each other's perspectives, because there's a lot of hatred that is derived from being judgmental, from being afraid, or just not knowing, right? And that is part of where the biggest fears come from people, is not knowing things. Because people like to know stuff, generally. Nobody likes to be an idiot. Nobody likes to be dumb. Even though we all have dumb moments, all of us like to be smart. We like to learn new things. So, a big part of what I've been doing has been simply education. Educating other people. Trying to get them to understand different perspectives and trying to eliminate the fear and the hatred that I see in the world. Because there's a lot of it. Which is unfortunate. And when you are able to share perspectives, then you are slowly able to understand each other more and not be as afraid, which alleviates a lot of issues and eliminates a lot of issues. So it's like, if you're a free American and you can say whatever you want to say, and you can go around doing whatever you want to do, for the most part. I mean, we all have consequences, right? But like, we're still kind of free, even though they're starting to take our liberties and freedoms away. We're still kind of free. You're gonna have a really different perspective from somebody who, let's say, is in a dictatorial environment, government, right? They're gonna be on a strict regimen with a lot of different rules and a lot of different lifestyles. So that in itself is conflicting when a person from a strict culture meets a person from a free and lenient culture. And that's just kind of trying to keep it like just chill. I'm not trying to start drama, and I'm not talking smack. I'm just saying different perspectives. And the better we can understand each other, the more that we're going to grow, and the more we're going to get along, the less fighting we're going to have, the less arguments, and we might even eliminate war. War is a major problem, and a big part of war is fear. They're afraid they're going to run out of resources as a nation, or they're afraid their way of life isn't going to be preserved. And changes are always scary for people, right? So when you're trying to change things, you got to understand that people aren't going to change unless they want to change. You can try forcing them, and being products of the environment, arguably, you can make people change. But I do not believe that is the best way to do things. Because when you force things, it isn't natural. And when it isn't natural, it's not going in sync with everything else. Considering that it's just, I don't know. It's a lot to deal with at times. I just don't know how to eliminate hatred or greed from people who are so ingrained in that type of environment, where they feel like they need it, or it's a need for them instead of a want, when it's really a want. Such as, I want a fancy car, but I need to feed my family. There's a big difference. And it's just difficult. That's just one example of like one equation, one complex problem that I've been trying to solve. Okay? There's a lot of them. Eliminating starvation, fixing the food chain, yeah, I'm not going to give you all my secrets, but there's a lot of stuff that's yet to be done. The biggest issue I'm having is I really don't want to do it alone. And I've been alone for so long. And I've got Riley here. But if things would even work out for me ever, I think that just having support would go a long way, but I don't even see it. I see a little bit on like social media, but I'm not on there very often, and it's kind of manipulative what happens on there with all these bots and fake accounts and shit or stuff, excuse me, but propaganda and influences. But yeah, I haven't been wasting time. I have felt like giving up a lot. It's because I'm so heartbroken. I've seen so much. I don't even know if most people can comprehend or imagine what I've seen or what I know. And I don't say that to be bragging, because I like to say that like beauty is a blessing as much as it is a curse, because you could be admired by all these people and not see it yourself, or you could be like taken advantage of or kidnapped just because you're beautiful, which is really messed up. I don't get that. It's kind of primitive, super primitive, and if aliens saw you doing that shit, they'll put you back in the Stone Age if you don't stop. And intelligence is a blessing and a curse, because ignorance is bliss. The less you know, the happier people seem to be. So I am kind of envious of these stupid people that are out there, if there are any. I think we're all smart in our own way, and we all know different things. But like, yeah, the more you know, and the more problems you know about, the more stuff that runs through your head, the more you think about things. And it's kind of a curse being smart. I'm not even that smart, but I know a lot of stuff. And there have been people who have told me that I am the smartest person they've met, and I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because of the things I talk about or something. I don't know. And I don't know if that's true or if they're flattering me, but the fact is, I've done some incredible things that I didn't see anybody else doing. And I all did it in private. I didn't have to be a celebrity. I didn't have to be a star. I didn't even want to be. Because then you get people who are jealous and envious or hateful. And I don't know. It's also hard to get support when you're private and all by yourself. But I think it's out there. It's just not like fulfilling. Or, I don't know. I appreciate all the support. If you are out there and you're helping anybody to do good things, thank you. And you're appreciated. Because it doesn't happen too often. It's pretty sad. There's a lot of fucked up stuff in the world. But I'm not one of it. I'm not part of it. I believe in a lot of different things. One thing I truly believe is that I'm not normal. I know I've been to heaven before. And I'm going back again. Maybe not today, but eventually. I don't feel like I call this planet home. It's pretty primitive. It's pretty barbaric. It's brutal. If you just even watch documentaries, you see wildlife totally like predator-prey relationships. There's a food chain, there's consumption. You ever see a tiger eat some prey? They're usually pretty humane. Well, they'll do the neck first. But I've seen some documentaries and some brutal stuff, and it's supposed to be natural. This is one reality, one planet out of many. And I do believe there are planets out there, or realities, I should say, which do not require consumption on a continuous basis, like this one. It's pretty rough here, and you gotta be tough to make it. That's not a joke. It's tough. Without my family, I'd probably be dead by now. Just because of how everything is going. Because people are so afraid of changes. They're so afraid of what they don't know. Like I swear I'm blacklisted. I pretty much tried applying at like 3,000 jobs over the course of like 3 years. That's an estimate, probably a lot less because I've been juggling other stuff. But I've been trying to find an income so I could provide for a family someday. I can't get a job, which is totally bizarre. I know there's a lot of stuff going on that I don't see. And I see a lot of stuff that I don't like. So I can only imagine what's going on that I don't see. But I do know it's there. And I know about it. Just because I don't see it does not mean I'm not aware. And if this planet doesn't want to get its act together, if all these countries want to go back to war with each other and start all this unnecessary bloodshed, that's their choices. I am not one to tell anybody what to do. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if within the next millennium we're all back in caves or extinct, one of the two. The way we treat the planet and the way I see people treating each other, I am astonished that the species has made it this far. When they say that human trafficking is against the law and then put you in jail or put you in prison and then make you go work for $1 a day, that's human trafficking. When they say kidnapping is illegal and then they pull you off the street for a crime, it could be a petty crime, it could be an accusation of a crime. They'll throw you in a jail cell and you gotta prove yourself innocent. It's pretty absurd. Do you know what extortion is? So if you get pulled over and you're not wearing your seatbelt, what do they normally do? Give you a ticket. What is that ticket by definition? Is it extortion? Because if you don't pay that ticket, what happens to you? Do you lose your license? Do you lose your ability to provide, to go to work possibly? You have to take a bus or an Uber or a taxi, or maybe you're so far away you can't even. I mean, it's insanity. So you guys can keep doing what you're doing and things will probably get worse. Or you could wisen up, educate yourselves, learn more so you're not afraid of things. Like how the dollar is made or how cryptocurrency is produced. And then you can compare that to a living animal. There are places and people and corporations and all sorts of things in this world which value the dollar more than life because of the things that the dollar gets them. It's tragic. We're destroying each other because of it. Not like me personally, but as a civilization globally. Yeah, it's pretty messed up. And the more we do it, the worse it's gonna get. But like I said, I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. I'm just trying to educate everybody. There's always options and choices. And out of all the possibilities that there are in the world and in the universe and around us, why is this it? We deserve so much better. We, all of us. Me, you, everybody. We deserve so much better. Look at, I'm all by myself, but I'm like talking about the whole world, okay? Like every person, every animal, all the plants. There's plants going extinct. There's animals going extinct. If we don't stop that shit, I mean, we're next. It's pretty soon, sooner or later. So, I don't know. That's my walk for today. I felt like talking today. And I'll leave you with that. Some food for thought. I hope I didn't offend anybody. And I hope you're all safe. I hope you learned something that you could maybe take to heart. And maybe it'll make a change in somebody's perspective or attitude or whatever it may be. And if you see this, I love you. And I wish you the best.